students. Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Okay, screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Okay, today we people are going to begin with your module 2, right? This module gives some basic information on the theories what we people are going to use into public relation. Fine. So formally we are going to begin module 2 of your public relation subject. Okay. Going back. Anyway, we people have already introduced to the public relation concepts in previous classes, right? The first module, what we people have discussed, that first module has given us plenty of information on, how public relation that we people have to perceive it as. Fine. So we have something like, certain theories which has been derived from many experts in the field of public relations, right? And those authors are the researchers who have brought us a concepts which are helping all the public relation practitioners, okay, to take up into the hand and make it more, efficient when those people use these programs in building a relationship with the public, okay, or the target audience. Fine. So we have something before we go through different type of theories which has been derived and been used into public relation. It's a basic thing that we need to understand what exactly theory is. Okay, there's a very simple meaning which is given on what do we actually mean by theories. Okay, theories helps practitioners how best they can explain and they can predict human behavior and also the communication as well as that will be helping them in guiding the organizational decision making. So these type of theories which will be helping, and you take any sort of people who take a decision on certain aspects or issues. So what those people do is, or we say it as the responsible people for decision making. So when we take it specifically for the public relation, these type of practitioners into the public relation, they will get an ability of explaining, okay, the a behavior, human behavior, and that gives them an ability of predicting a type of behavior which those people can find into the public, as well as a type of communication which has to be used while reaching the public for building a good relationship. Okay, and ultimately these theories will be helping. You take any practitioner, that will be those theories will be helping where they will be guiding the entire decision making into the organization. So ultimately we use these theories, one, to explain the human behavior, the ability to predict or observe the human behavior, what changes happens into the public, and also a type of communication which we people have to develop. Okay, in meeting. So we have some how these theories, now if we discuss how these theories are connected with the public relation. Okay. Now what exactly theory is? A theory is a prediction of how events and actions are related. So you just keep this in the mind, because whatever theories we people are going to deal further into the coming slides, we people have to have an a strong idea about what exactly we people are intended to understand about. Okay, so a theory is a prediction of how events and actions are related, how events happen, and how the actions related to that particular events you people can find into the public on the basis of their changing behavior. Fine. So this is how there is also people to predict and the event how they are going to happen, and how these events will make them make certain type of actions to get evolved, okay, among the public. Fine. So how do theories help the PR practitioners? Specifically want to understand these theories will be helping the practitioner in the form of, like, when they use it, they can make, campaigns and message more effective. So what we people have discussed into your previous module, where these practitioners or the people responsible for PR, those people will be having certain campaigns, what they do it for certain time period, and throughout that time period with certain objective, okay, the goal which those people want to reach via communicating with the public. Fine. So they say how best these theories will be helping them to come with a good campaign, as well as the type of message which those people deliver to the public, and the message should be so effective enough which can be reaching, the desired goal of getting some ultimate behavior change into the public or say target audience. Fine. So any doubts in these two, the theories and then how theories can be connected to the public relations? Any doubts? Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Tanvi, Pooja, yeah, yeah, sure.
Yes,
Thank you
sir,
very much.
audible.
Okay. So, yeah, thank you. So next we have certain theories which are going to be discussed on the basis of relationships. Okay. Remember, there are major three cause and effect principles, or we also call them as theories. Cause and effect, we say that's why we have discussed something events and the actions. Okay. So here we have something that's similar to that in a synonymous way, where we people can understand there are major three theories or principles which we people are going to discuss, okay, and how best we people can understand them, where when we people are going to relate them to the public and the organization's effort. So this depends on, say, major cause and effect, what is the reason behind that, and what will be the effect that you people can expect, okay, into the output of the public behavior. So there are three major things, like the systems theory, situational theory, and then conflict resolution theory. Okay, so we go one by one. Very simple theories these are to understand. There are many more theories that we people are going to discuss, but thing is, they're very common in a sense where you people can easily understand. This is being followed by not only just in public relation, even in other type of activities which an organization takes up into the hand. But somewhere even salespeople can use them. Sometimes entire marketing team of the organization can use them in developing a sort of behavior among the customers of them. The same thing happens with you in your public relation also. These are the general aspects what we people are going to discuss today. Fine. So we have something called as systems theory. When if we want to define it, it says that something the attitudes and actions of an organization or a public which will be contributing to a cause effect chain, chain reaction within the environment. To make it more simple, this depends on something like a give and take, a two-way type of activities which happens between the organization and the public. Remember, if the events which are the events which are related to both, okay, you can expect the contribution of the organization as well as public, and you people can identify it on the basis of the attitudes and the actions what those people are going to exhibit for any cause and effect chain relation. What we say, that event is responsible for having attention of both of them, and all the I mean the more stakeholders, if they are into that particular chain, they will be contributing to it. If we want to make it more simpler, say now we have something like the parts of an organization as a public which exist in relationship with each other. Fine. Meaning it says that the actions of one party affects the other. So this is what we say, the event which is pertaining to both of them, one or the other way, the action of one will be affecting the another. Same another will be affecting the a person who has affected in uh, initial stage what he has done. So organization will be having some exerting some effect on the public. In return, public will be also having some effects on the organization. So this cause and what we say effect relationship will be happening between both of them. If we want to analyze this system theory to the public relation specifically, Remember, this is especially useful to the public relation because it helps the practitioners to manage the organization's relationship. So they come to know that what we throw and what we, in return we get from the public. So something it is like the Newton's third law, where what is at what force do people throw a ball in the same force that ball returns. So even organizations are very keen observant at what makes any public to have too much of interest into the organization. So in that manner, those people are going to develop a communication along with the programs which will be helping the organization in getting that equal type of attention what those people are expecting from the public. Fine. So we have this theory which will be giving more importance on interdependence between an organization, okay, and also its internal and external environment. So moreover, the theory says that more importance or emphasis should be given on in what we say the interdependence, where even the internal environment of the organization and the stakeholders who are internally affecting the organizational decisions, even they should also have a good relationship with the external environments, any other stakeholders who are not under the control of organization. And one or the other way, those people will be having some sort of power, or say power they are going to exert on the organization for certain type of changes what those people are expecting in organization. So somewhere it is something says like the systems theory always say that there should be a good relationship between the organization and the say the public. Fine. So major thing we give concentration on what basis that the organization has been built and what is the system that is being followed into the organization. So internal it may be or external environment. So you people have to take much care about that. Then we have something closed and open systems, right? The two systems which says that first one, the pro system says focus on the history of the organization and which makes any PR practitioners to take a decision on the basis of their past experience. So this type of system always relies on the time series, right? So they will be having certain data which they are going to validate it statistically, and on that basis those people are going to take a decision. Okay, so their entire decision in closed system depends on their past experience in the data which has been already there into the organization. Those people are going to retrieve it, and statistically those people are going to validate it. Okay, once they validate it, on that basis, the further decisions will be taken and the activities are going to be carried out in the future. So next we have something like open system, where we should be focusing on more inputs from the external publics here. In closed system, usually publics are not included. Okay, at the most of the time, where the data which is already existing in the organization, that is going to be used in taking the decision. But when it comes to open system, it is something we say it as it's a which gets a contribution from the public. Fine. So more inputs that going to be taken from the public, from the external environment. Okay, what we say it as an organization external environment. On that basis, the organization can take a decision irrespective of whatever the experience an organization is having in the past with respect to the related issues. Okay, these are two type of systems which we people are going to follow. Fine, one is closed and second is open. Fine, any doubts that you people have in this system theory? Any doubts? If you say no, I can continue.
No, sir.
Okay. So we have next something like situation theory. Very beautiful theory it is, and most interesting also for any PR practitioners. Okay, where situation theory says that always remember people usually affect. The people is going to act. Okay, for any sort of issue or any sort of situation where they find that this is going to affect them. Okay, this is what the simple meaning to understand. If somebody wants to act or react to certain type of issues or situation, they purely do it only when it is related to them. Okay, or it is going to affect personally to them. Fine. So if we go through the definition, it says that people will act on an issue or say situation when they believe it affects them personally. As I told you, if it is very personal to them and the matters which are there, those matters are very much related to the person and the personality of him. Okay, then he is going to give more attention towards that. Okay, and their actions can make a difference. Okay, that is what is we are going to have in the situation theory, where the situation theory says one, the issues which are related to the person, and you people can expect certain actions. Okay, out of the situation which has been created. So there are three major variables that you people have to keep in the mind when it comes to your situational theory. See, we have one like problem recognition, then constraint recognition, and the level of involvement. So these three variables has to be completely used into situational theory to make it more effective enough. Fine, for any practitioners, you people have to consider these three things as a variable. Okay. So first one we have something like problem recognition. People must be able to see the potential of an issue and to affect them personally. So this is something where you have to develop in some if you say some other phase of the point, what peer practitioners will do is they make them to realize, okay, they make them to realize that the problem which has been raised, okay, or any issue or any event which has been developed, okay, as in the form of PR program, the public which are a target audience of the organization, those people have to come to know. Okay, you have to make them to experience that this issue is very potential, that can or that may affect them personally. So you have to keep in the mind that when it comes to situational theory, you have to develop such a situation, okay, on the basis of problem recognition, where people are able to understand, people are able to visualize that any issue is potentially going to affect them personally. Okay, once you people do that, the second thing we have like constant recognition, where in this people must see that they can do something about the issue. Somewhere you people are persuading them, making them to be more active enough in this constant recognition, and you make people that themselves they start thinking on that, and they do something about the issue. They go on, working on that, and they want to contribute. So somewhere slowly those people are going to indulge into those type of issues. Then we have next like level of involvement. This is something that people must care about resolving the issues. Now this says that how much level, if the level of involvement is too high, okay, in the public related to any sort of issue, it means that they are trying to resolve it. Sometimes they discuss into the forums to which those people are belonging to. Sometimes they can give some inputs to the organization. Fine. Somewhere if they are ready to give inputs, involvement is very high, and they want to resolve the issues. It means that they are too much indulged into the PR, okay, PR events. What practitioners are doing from the side of organization. Fine. So there are two type of benefits of any situational theory, or you say it as an advantage of using this situational theory. The first one that helps the practitioners to predict when group will become active or remain apathetic, or we say uninterested. Now these type of three major things, variables, when you people use and practice into the PR programs is on the basis of situational theory. Fine. So you people can expect two benefits. The benefits like where it will be helping the PR practitioners to predict. Okay. Actually, at what time the target group, what those people are intended to work on, those group becomes active. Okay, and even it gives an idea for the practitioner that when exactly the groups are not going to be interested or remains very apathetic. So on that basis, they have to take a decision that at what level the program has to run on these two type of situation, when the groups are active, okay, and when those are active, that you want to predict. Fine. So this situation theory will help them to understand that. The second is that it helps the practitioner to create a common strategy for specific public, right? So even the situational theory, if they come to know, okay, if those people come to know that when groups are active and when groups are apathetic or uninterested, it is very convenient for any strategist, okay, in the PR or say any PR practitioner, where those people can create a common strategy for any specific public or group of people. So we have second like social exchange theory. It purely depends on the cost and the rewards. Remember, any public, if they have interest, want to get an interest into the issues or events, they always look into two major aspects. One is reducing the cost and increasing the reward. So reducing the cost, it may be a cost what those people can incur by giving the time, okay, by taking a risk, fine. So sometimes they spend some amount also, somewhere, those people want to know about it, okay, they want to contribute if there are any social issues which is being taken by the organization in resolving them, fine. So somewhere that contribution can also be expected. And reward, increasing reward, is that the self satisfaction those people can get out of contributing to that particular issues along with the organization, right? Satisfaction or some benefit out of the organization, fine. So some shareholders will be contributing to social issues which is been taken by the organization, and because of that, more and more profits are generated. Okay, and those profits, if they are contributing to shareholders, obviously shareholders always look for the social exchange theory, where they involve into that issues, they spend some amount and they get some good returns. Okay, in the form of the profit sharing what organization does with the shareholders. Okay, then we have something like called people generally act in a ways that they can assume will reduce the cost and then increase the reward. So their action of a public purely depends on, okay, how best they can reduce the cost and how best those people can increase rewards for them. So this is purely depends on give and take policies, right? So this social exchange. So we have social exchange theory and the decision making. If we how this social exchange theory and the decision making is related. Now you say any prayer practitioners will be trying to make a decision purely based on some declaration of what we say as assertion, okay, about the people and okay, sorry, no declaration that people will factor in before they take any before that, and something they act as a public, what action those people are going to exhibit that will be clearly understood in the behavior. Okay, you can predict that what type of behavior can give you a type of action from the side of public. Then we have next second one, like practitioners must try to keep cost low and rewards high in everything from survey response to the product recall. Sometimes these are going, as I told somewhere, if this social exchange is used properly by the practitioners, that gives more and more profit not only to them, even that will be contributing to the upliftment of relationship and investments among the public in the organization. So we have something where you have to keep in the mind as a PR practitioners that how best they can keep the cost low and giving them more and more higher rewards in return for whatever behavior or action those people exhibit towards the organization, and this purely depends on the survey. So what did we say it as survey has to, or research has to be conducted to know about it. Okay, any doubts here in this association theory? Am I audible to you people?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are audible.
Yeah, thank you. Fine. Connected to the population. Okay, this has been already discussed. Sorry, wait. Fine. Okay. Now we have to begin with diffusion theory. This includes major five steps. Okay. And before we go through these five steps, please keep in the mind that you take any
So you're not audible.
Publics, okay, to receive the information whatever has been transferred to them from the public relation department. So once you people have created awareness about the issue and the events or say PR program itself, the next is second you people have to develop interest among the public. So interest is something that they slowly start acting upon it. Somewhere they say that okay, ठीक है, somewhere these type of events or say any issues which is going to boost them or sometimes it's going to affect them. So if these two things, whether it will be favoring them or whether they are going to give some problem to the public, on that basis, those people are going to generate an interest. Fine. So once you people create an interest among the public stating that this event is very personal to them, then third is evaluation. You make them to evaluate. So somehow the PR programs, okay, should be constructed, the communication should be constructed in such a way that they go on evaluating about the authenticity of the information. Okay, so the public should get more and more involved into analyzing those issues, okay, related to that particular PR program, fine, or event. Then once that is done, fourth one is a trial where they have a doubt. Once they evaluate and they decide upon that whether to adopt it or not, before that they make some trial and they say how much it is suitable for them. Fine. So public always looks into that, how convenient it may be for the future. They take a very smaller steps in experiencing it, okay, and contributing towards that. Once they experience and contribute, they found it that okay, that is very essential for them to have, and they go on practicing it again and again. So they show the complete acceptance of that particular, a program into the PR, and those people are going to adopt it. Now, adoption process is something they use it, they indulge, and even sometimes they, discuss the same thing with the other reference groups also. So if you see in the first two, awareness and interest will be purely useful for mass media, right? So mass media plays a very important role when it comes to creating awareness and generating interest among the public. And when we talk about personal influence, okay, is especially needed for the other two, steps like evaluation and trial before those people are going to take adoption process. So evaluation and trial, usually it works on very personal influences or personal basis. Somehow, PR practitioners will be finding the best source that those people can meet those people personally. Okay, the personal influence, either by using the technology, discussing in certain forums or platforms on the issue. Okay, so we have to, which will be working on mass media like awareness and interest, and evaluation trial purely depends on the personal influence before any public goes with certain type of adoption. Fine. Okay, we have something next like social learning theory. Okay, this social learning theory purely depends on some personal example and mass media. It can be important for acquiring new type of behavior. If you see now any issue which is raised throughout the world, within few minutes you people get on your one or the other social media sites where you people have registered, right? It may be a WhatsApp, it may be a Instagram, it may be a Facebook, right? There are many more type of platforms that what we people have, that we are connected with the type of societies which we people love to be belong, right, to that particular society. So whatever society we people are belonging, we will be having our own group. If one person shares it, many of them come to know. So we say personal examples and mass media can also improve for acquiring new type of behavior. Any issues which is being raised or generated in the external environment of an organization, or sometimes even the issue happens with the organization internal environments also. That small news, if it is leaked by one person, it may reach to thousand crores together people. Okay, billions to people they gather on discussing regarding the issues. So new behavior is likely to occur when it is seen as a potentially rewarding. Social exchange theory also says some people nowadays, if you see, even professionals who are from different fields. Okay, in their own field, those people are contributing. Okay, and those people want to show their presence into that particular issues, which says that find that a type of new behavior what those people are showing in contributing, being a part of a certain issues or cause among the society. Fine. So that gives them some visibility, some self satisfaction. Okay, even that can be a type of potential reward what those people can get. The recognition what those people get among the society can also be a type of reward for them. So this new type of behavior which people go beyond their actual behavior, right? Where those people change themselves, and this only occurs because of the rewards what those people expect from that. So any reward they get, usually they change themselves. So this is what it says. Social learning theory. There always new type of behaviors are learned by the people only when those people get a reward. So in return, those people will be expecting a reward. So we have next something like elaborated likelihood model. Okay, this model which is purely depends on two type of routes. Okay, and if people can expect changes into the human attitudes and the behavior, what we say the possible and probable changes what people can expect in attitudes, okay, and behavior for human. This is going to be described by two type of routes. So how those two routes are helping you, we'll discuss in the next slides. But before that, understanding these options, what we have two type of routes which will be helping any PR practitioners to have their own device for effective ways to present the information. So ultimately, if we come to know that how changes happens to human attitudes and behavior, probably we people can develop a message, okay, a communication message, and we people can reach them accordingly. So we have two. One is we have a central route, and then we have a peripheral route. Two type of routes we have. The first one, the central route always talks about in specific to the elaborated likelihood model, where communicating a message usually presumes that people are interested in your message. So this central route always says that people are interested. Okay, so you have to have such a communication message to them, and believing that that message will be received by the people with the interest. Okay, and always these type of people will be very actively thinking about the issues what you people have communicated to them, and also will evaluate it with a open mind. So this central route always gives some sort of a positive vibes into the organization, believing that the target audience or public which we people are intended to reach them with certain type of message. So those people are already ready to receive the message. Okay, so they have something interest into the type of issue what you people are going to discuss with them, and also they will be having complete open mind to evaluate about the issues. But this same thing won't happen with the peripheral route, where you people have to take the people to that particular level of interest. So it says that the peripheral route is taken when a receiver is deemed unable or say unwilling to think directly about the issue. This says somewhere the public or the people to whom you people want to reach, those people are not interested, no, directly they are not interested, but somehow you people have to reach them with some alternative ways, right? The alternative route, what we can say, you can find a best route. Indirectly what you people can develop some sort of interest among them, okay, regarding the issues, and they should get ready for receiving the message. Fine. So we have something next, like hence the person is presented with a very softer cues, peripheral to the issues, such as like repetition of the message. Okay, what type of software cues you can have is like the message has to be repeated again and again to the customers, where repetition of that message makes them, okay, hitting the mind again and again of the public, where the public at least take a few steps to understand why this message is being going to replicated again and again, okay, in front of them. So at least because of the repetition, people remember it, right? Or that generates some sort of interest in knowing it. So why that message is going to be popped up again and again in the society. So we have credible sources you people can use what we say as a believable type of sources. People always give an interest to the information sometimes on the basis of the source and the authenticity of the source, right? How much the trustworthiness that the source is having. If it comes from certain type of sources that gives a belief into the public in receiving the message, and having confidence in those type of message to get some discussion in certain type of forums. Then we have rewards of premium, as we told. If you go to if you go back to the previous models where you know the public only will be having interest in such type of issues which can give them some rewards out of it. Okay, some sort of satisfaction or returns to them. For discussing about the issues. If you go with all the summaries, what we people have discussed, the first one like actions assembly theory, or says that people filter and retain the data by personalizing logic and habitual expectations. Then we have social exchange theory, right, which talks about people act in a way that will be reducing the cost and also increasing the rewards. And discussing, diffusion theory, we have that people may be influenced to diffuse and adopt the ideas through five stages, what we people have discussed. Okay, and we have elaborated likelihood theory, which has two type of routes, central and peripheral routes, based on which you can find that a public or receivers will be having interest among them or create a motivation process. Right? So this is something about your we have some theories of mass communication, then defining the media, then we have a gratification theory, right? We have agenda setting theory, etc. Too many theories can lead to a conclusion in a day. So I think we have to stop the class here. In the next class, we people will be discussing with the other theories. So as if now, please, if people can go through the theories which has been already discussed into the, your previous slide. Fine. Okay. You people, do you people have any doubts? Do people have any doubts?
No, sir.